I feel like sharing my thoughts. I've just been sort of mulling things over, and I want to just share some different changes that have happened and everything, and just the way I view things. And I don't want anyone to take this, you know, don't just take my word for it. Do your own, do whatever you want. You don't have to. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of people stay very busy, have to just survive and make money, so you don't always have the opportunity to just think about the big things. But I do have some spare time and things, and I also just I have a very busy mind, and I've just noticed things. I'm very perceptive, and I'm very hyperactive and everything. But yeah, so I was raised going to church and things, and then it was interesting because you hear it being sort of a spiritual tool and things. But I started smoking cannabis heavily, and I actually, for a while, I was very just angry at the way certain things happened, and things seemed so unfair for me and for all sorts of people. So I was atheist. I was like, how would any of this be, there's no like meaning to anything or whatever. But things have changed over time, and even with just yeah, sort of not really going out of my way to go to all these places and do experience all these things. It's still very exciting because it's just the way things happen, especially just all sorts of people have this, in their family and everything, or like just with others. And I'd like to talk about it more with others. It can be very scary, but I think it's super interesting and important. Just basically, I'm sort of open-minded now. I would say like I'm not agnostic anymore because I'm like I feel confident, like I feel sure that when any of our brains stop working, I feel like there's something like we can't even comprehend that I don't think there's going to be, it's not so simple as heaven and hell, but I think, or maybe anything from any text, because it's like, it could all be wrong. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that this isn't the end. A lot of people would say that that's delusional, say that it's a defense mechanism of mortality, just saying, when you lose people close to you and everything, you're like, well, you want to feel better about it and everything. But it's not just that, because I recently commented, I think dreams are very important, and I sort of have an obsession. I use the lion's mane supplement, and just as I predicted, it does act as like an ornithine, and it, dream recall, the vividness, my dreams go on, everything feels so much longer now. Like, different things have affected me, and I'm very grateful. There are some times, again, I've had periods of time where I don't I'm like not sleeping. Like I just do not. I have serious like cycles of things where it's like this is happening for a while and I'm not doing well, and this is happening for a while and I feel in such a good mood and everything. Sometimes I'm like not affected by the insomnia, but for the most part, when I have a good night's sleep now, it's like I'm really getting in there, and so much intense stuff is happening, and I like to have that other part of my life. That aspect is important to me. But yeah, I just saw someone in a group. It was like a neurodivergent group. It's like it's interesting when people don't, when just like sort of push away like dreams, like just sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot what they said. Just sort of like nudge them off as just like a byproduct of sleeping or whatever. When it's like so incredible what can happen and everything. And our brains are powerful. Again, like with the brain cells and everything, each one's like a little mini universe and everything. So we are capable of producing a lot of effects, just like our thoughts can be, you know, sort of out of control or whatever. But I think also there's more than that. I'm very confident in everything. There are just, with these things, basically what I commented on that was sometimes we dream the future, and that is just mind-boggling in different things. Like, different people have had this. Again, this is not fiction. These different, like, you could, like, call it ESP or whatever. A lot of things. There is no such thing as somebody that just constantly can be like, oh, I know exactly what you're thinking. I don't believe in that. That would have been shown, it would be well documented, or, like, especially if anyone like that is alive today, they would be Well, probably something dark would happen. At first, people would be like, well, there's this, but then it's like, it'd be like exploited for some shitty project or something. But yeah, like, this happens with different people, and I think it's natural for all sorts of people. It's very surprising to me when somebody laughs about this or says all these different things, or just calls, just say you have an active imagination, and, you know, the things the links you're seeing between things, the recurring patterns of things are just apophenia, and it's like, I promise, like, I'm so confident that's not true. My mom and her sister had a great relationship, and they had these similar things, and now, like, in this house, like, for a good while we've had this. I don't know when I started really catching on to these things and be like, they show it in the X-Files often. Again, some of it's very, and again, it can feel scary, sort of like, is this like, because it makes you wonder. It's like, the way I see things with how these things work, obviously I have some amount of free will. I can go and do this, I can go and do that, but also there seems to be some sort of like tapestry that it's like, you do this and these things, certain things are sort of, I don't even want to say predetermined. It's like, I don't know how it works. Some people would say it's just like all of our consciousness, like, we sort of can interact with each other on a level that we, can't prove or anything, or that even, yeah, it can sort of feel like it's more than just like we are on planet Earth. It's like the existence that we're in itself could be conscious or like aware of us in like a weird way or something. I don't know, but yeah, there have been so many times, and yeah, it could seem like wishful thinking, but a lot of people have these things where it's like, wow, that seemed, angelic or whatever. There was a time shortly after my girlfriend died. I wasn't dating her when she died, but I still say that. Like, my ex-girlfriend, my good friend, I was like, I never listened to the radio. I always just listen to my own music. But I like, got in the car. I was like, something tells me right now, if just right now I turn on the radio, something's going to be like pop out and be really good. It was like 3 songs in a row that she introduced me to that she was obsessed with. And I don't think, she is just floating around Earth and all she's thinking about is me and the people that she left behind and stuff. It's just, I think that there really are questions. Again, it's like partial agnostic, partial just very open-minded. I think that there are forces, and I think that there's more to this than just, empirical, what we can view and analyze and everything. I think there are big questions. I'm confident that there are big answers that we can't find. But, yeah, and then there was also, when I visited her grave, there was this, little yellow butterfly, and there are a lot of these butterflies, but, I haven't seen any since then, and that was a while back, and, yeah, I just saw one, like, it was just like where I was lighting the incense by her grave, and then on the way home, I saw, like, a few others, where it's just, like, not even the same areas, like, I was almost home, and then there's another one, it's like, I'll go right by the car and everything, like, there are just some weird things, but beyond that, you'll find, if you have these sort of things, and we have them all the time, again, you'll be reading a book, or it can be a book, it can be any sort of media, and you'll see these things, very specific things recurring. And again, a lot of people, you could brush it off, you could just say, that's just your obsessive thinking, and you're just focused on this one thing, but that's not all that, but I wasn't focused on this own thing until it started. Holy shit, wait, this again? What the fuck? There have been times I was hospitalized one time because it was too frightening for me, because it was a live, it was like an award ceremony. I don't know if it's the Grammys. I forget what it was. I think it was for like TV shows. I've never been into them, really. But like, we had one on, and one of the people there, like, we were answering, it's hard to say whether it's like I knew what the person was going to say, or like that person was linked into exactly the way I've been thinking and everything. It seemed like they were reading my thoughts and like saying specific things that might be a little bit of a stretch, because it's like sometimes you are very stressed and your mind can play tricks on you. But I promise it's more than that. And again, I don't want people to think I have any answers, or like think that it's like you should have faith based on what I'm saying or anything. And even if, well, I'll say multiple ways. Let's say that life goes on, that it's like rebirth, different things. Let's say there's some unfathomable, just dream-like place that you go to after you die, or what, like so many quests to go on, or whatever. That doesn't make this place, this plane of existence, just like not matter, because we don't have the answers and we don't know that that's sure. So like, regardless, every spark of life here is important, and we need to treat others, with respect, and make sure, because still we're all sentient, all these animals and everything. We feel stress, we feel pain, we feel grief, different things. It's up to us to try take care of ourselves and get to a healthy point to where it's like we can console those that are hurting, and try to ease pain and make people as comfortable as can be and everything in a realistic way. And I would just like animal activist, humanist, whatever, all sorts of things. Like, I want life on this place to, we shouldn't just eagerly be like, well, this place is going to be trash, let's go to another planet and trash it. It's like, we could make things last here a long time. There is a lifespan to this planet, and there's going to be, yeah, there are always mass extinctions, but what we're doing right now, not everybody, it's not like everybody's to blame and everything, but yeah, we're in a mass extinction that's way earlier than normal, and it's the first one from human activity. And I'm confident that there have been other civilizations out there and everything. Some people talk about different things that could prevent them, that maybe they're all gone because they didn't quite make it and everything. There's this artist, this group, death metal group, that's making an album based on different stories telling what, like the Great Filter, different things. Some people think that it's, artificial intelligence. It's just like the bane of humanity. It's like we have this quest of like, we need to make everything convenient or whatever, and make everything, there's like such yin and yang to things. I do think it's important. I think that we should utilize different extreme tech, maybe like some quantum, like whatever, all sorts of things to make life better for people. Like, I'm all for cybernetics that monitor your vitals and everything, and let you know if you're very sick, that sort of thing. But like, we should not want, I think it's science fiction anyway. I mean, maybe with some sort of the computers that are worked on and stuff, like basically like Ghost in the Shell stuff. I've been thinking about that recently. I've got something coming in the mail for that, but like, we should not long for a sentient AI. Like, that would never be a good idea. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, the cybernetics, I can't talk, cybernetics could be cool and everything. But yeah, even if life is like even eternal or something, and there's just we have different things, it's like we have difficult things to overcome, and we finally have to like get to the good point or whatever, like, still, this place, like, we need to cherish things here and act like this is super important. I think it is. I think this is what there is. Like, that should be on our minds so often, trying to be respectful. That's like the bottom of it. Like, just trying to be respectful and trying to be like, hey, we're all confused, and, let's not be dicks to one another. And then beyond that, being like, all right, we're going to, like, increase longevity in all sorts of people, and, like, decrease disease and everything, but also let's keep the right tech going. Let's have things be green and sustainable and everything, but we don't need everything to be just, yeah, this whole, different things are a little dark in different ways and everything. And on the other hand, let's say that even with the weird, maybe it's like partial, like there's some conscious place we're living in, or a partial simulation or something, so like whatever. But when our brains go, that is the end. It doesn't matter. Like, either way, I'd be very surprised, but it's impossible for me to ever know if I'm going to be surprised, because if I go, and that's still okay. Regardless, to me, whatever I see it, it's like, it's all good. even though things can feel dark, some of the forces can feel dark. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'd be very surprised with all the things that occur, all the forces. Anyway, love.